Now, there are evolutionists who rely heavily upon radiometric dating processes to determine the age of a rock. Now, understand, anytime I use a big word, I always wanted to define what it means. What does the word radiometric mean? Well, it means the use of radioactive materials to supposedly measure the amount of time since an event has occurred or a creature lived. You've all heard of carbon-14. Maybe you've heard of uranium, lead, potassium, argon, rubidium, strontium. There's all kinds of these, but carbon-14, potassium, argon, rubidium, strontium, uranium, lead, those are the ones that most people know of. Actually, there's over 80 of them. And they say that you can date a rock, millions, billions of years old using these radiometric dating processes. However, that's not true. First of all, none of them work. Not one of them works. Carbon-14 doesn't work. Even the man who invented it, Dr. Libby, admitted it didn't work. But none of them work. First of all, none of them work because they all start with 5 false assumptions, and carbon-14 has 7 false assumptions. Now, would you agree with me that if you have a dating technique based on 5 false assumptions or 7 false assumptions, then you're not going to be able to get a reliable date? Is that correct? I mean, that's right. You also have to remember that in the case of carbon-14, that the flood of Noah would drastically change the carbon cycle, so that really throws it off. And then would you agree with me on something? If these things actually worked, if they did, and you could use 2 different methods on the same rock, wouldn't you expect them to be approximately the same date, about the same age and so forth? Is that right? I mean, agreed? If you could use 2 different ones on the same rock, if they work, they should be about the same, right? Okay. How about if I was within 10%? Would that be satisfactory? I'm willing to negotiate. What do you want, 15%? 10s, okay, well I got 10's enough, okay. Well good. Well here's the problem, you see, not only do these methods not work, there are major contradictions between different dating methods used on the same rock. For example, this is Sunset Crater National Monument. It is south and east of the Grand Canyon in Arizona. It's a relatively small volcano, beautiful though. It gets the name Sunset because the cinders at the top just glow at sunset. Now, anybody who knows anything about Arizona, New Mexico, that part of the United States would know that there's a large number of Indian ruins in this area. As a matter of fact, there are Indian ruins right in the park area. And so let's think. We know that this eruption can be dated at about 900 years ago. We can do that by tree ring countings because 900 is not a big deal. And we know that there were Native American Indians living in the area. First of all, there are remains of their houses and so forth are there. And also, in the cinder cones, in the lava flows from this eruption, we found Native Indian artifacts. So we know that there were people living there at the time that the eruption occurred, and some of their artifacts were trapped in the material from this eruption. So, there were Native Indian artifacts found in the lava flows and cinder cones. Now, this is volcanic rock. Now, when it comes to volcanic rock, the method of choice here would be the potassium-argon method of dating. And so we potassium-argon dated some of this material, and the laboratory that did the work came up with a date of 210 to 230,000 years old. I think that's more than 10%. Am I right here? Oh. Or what about this rock? This comes from Australia. This is a piece of volcanic rock from an eruption in Australia. Inside the rock, when we cut it open, we found this burned wood. It's really charcoal. So let's think. This volcano erupted. The rock completely surrounded a piece of wood. There's no question there's no contamination here. The rock completely sealed the wood inside. Now the heat of the lava caused the wood to burn. And so we were left with basically charcoal inside the rock and lava rock on the outside. Now, of course, since this is charcoal, you would use the carbon-14 dating technique. And the rock is volcanic, so you would use the potassium-argon technique. Now, understand, please, I don't agree with these dates. You do understand that. I believe the Earth and the universe are 6,000 years old. However, the laboratories that did the dates got for the carbon-14 date on this wood an age of 45,000 years old. Now again, I don't agree with it, but that's what they got. The lab that did the potassium-argon date on the piece of lava got a date of 37 million. I think I see a problem here. I think that's more than 10%. Am I right here? Oh. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm particularly proud of this particular one, so I want you to take careful attention. Let's go back to year 1801, Hualili, Hawaii, on the big island of Hawaii. Now, you know the Hawaiian Islands are just volcanoes that stick out of the water, right? So I want you to think about this. So the volcanoes of the Hawaiian Islands are just coming up from the ocean floor, sticking out of the water here, 2.6 miles and higher here. But here are these volcanoes in the Hawaiian Islands. Now, in 1801, there was an eruption of one of these volcanoes, and the lava flowed from the top of the mountain, down the side of the mountain, into the ocean water, went all the way down the side of the volcano, all the way down to the ocean floor, 2.6 miles down. Okay? Now, people were there to see this eruption occur in 1801. Now, I'm kind of proud of this, so I want you all to pay close attention to this. Okay, are you ready? Come on, are you ready? Okay. In 1801, there was an eruption. You missed it, didn't you? Come on, I'll show it to you one more time, okay? In 1801, there was an eruption. Now, you're all supposed to say, ooh. See, I'll show you one more time. See, in 1801, there was an eruption. Ooh. There you go. Well, we got the bright idea. Let's send a robot down and test this lava flow for the age using the potassium-argon method. So we sent a robot down. It went down 0.8 of a mile, got a 0 million years old. Now, first of all, that is correct, because think with me for a second. It was only 200-year-old material. Potassium-argon is not good on hundreds, thousands, hundreds of thousands. It's only good on millions. And so if this material is only 200 years old, then 0 million is correct. Everybody with me here? We got the bright idea, though. Let's take the robot, let's go down 2 miles, took a sample, got a potassium-argon date of 12 million years. We said, well, that's interesting. Let's send the robot all the way down to the ocean floor, 2.6 miles down, took a sample, got a potassium-argon date of 21 million. I think I see a problem here. How about you? These methods do not work. None of them work. They all start with 5 false assumptions or 7 false assumptions, and none of them work.